Alrighty boys, welcome back to another step-by-step video. Now today's video I wanted to talk about Grim. Now the most important concept that I need you guys to understand when we're talking about how to play Grim is that you need to have some kind of goal in your mind. And you should have a goal in your mind with every single operator you play, but I think with Grim you want to get even more specific when it comes to that push that you have in your head. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, right, where are your bees gonna go with your utility on Grim, and what are you gonna do during the period of time that your bees are down? That's basically like the general idea, is that you want to understand where you're going to be putting your bees during your push, as well as how you're gonna like use those bees to actually like push into the building, or if you're already in the building, then how are you going to push in the site, vice versa, you know what I mean? Right here, we're going to kill one guy on the breach for a free kill. And the idea and the reason why I bring this up is because it's very important not to waste bees on Grim. However, you don't necessarily need 5 bees with Grim to be able to make a push. Like, for example, for this round, my original play was to jump in for green window. However, in this specific round, what ends up happening is I only really needed 2 bees to be able to gain advantage on this guy that's on top green. And then I'm able to swing him from the red window hallway to get a free kill. And then during this round, Warden was coming up red. However, he wasn't originally on red. That's where a lot of my teammates actually flooded into sight from. So that's the one thing I want you guys to understand. In that position, if Warden was playing red, I would have used some of my bees to cut off red as well, so that way I would still be able to make that play. Now, the other major thing that I wanted to talk about with Grim is that you really, when you're playing him, in my opinion, you really need to use your bees to gain advantage in gunfire, or at least like funnel the enemy team, if that makes sense. Like, what I mean by funnel is, like, have you ever thought like of a maze, basically, where like if you position a maze in front of somebody, they're most likely going to go to the path of least resistance. Does that make sense? So what that means is that if you put Grims down in places where the enemy team has to avoid that area, because otherwise if they don't avoid that area, obviously they're going to get beat, right? So when you do bees, right, with Grim, what your goal is to funnel the enemy team to a specific location on the map. So you're going to see right here, I'm going to go ahead and be through the drone hole. This is going to prevent someone from slinging my kitchen doorway. And then what's going to happen here is that I expected this Legion to walk towards me onto the kitchen doorway here, and I'm able to just swing the window to get a free kill on him. And then now I can just go ahead and just be up sight here. This is going to prevent people from actually being able to walk up onto me while I am hitting up this plant, as well as it lets my teammates just drop hatch to get freebies on anybody who does try to swing through those bees. And we're basically able to just secure the round outright because of being able to funnel the enemy team to locations that are unfavorable to them. Now this next round is going to be a little bit more different. Now this round, I typically, when I'm attacking Outback, and luckily Outback's currently disabled in the current patch of Rainbow Six Siege, which I love, by the way, because I hate this map. But one of the ways that I do recommend playing this map when you have to play this map is first of all, put a drone for a garage. Now, the reason why I like putting a drone for a garage is because one of the things that happens during this round is that somebody likes to just jump out of garage a lot. This is a very easy way of getting the drop on people that like to jump out of garage. You're going to see here, I'm going to end up spotting one guy running into office. Typically when people walk into office early round, it means they're going for some kind of like jump out for garage. Now, unfortunately, guys, when I play the game, I'm a streamer, so 9 times out of 10, I'm probably getting stream sniped during my games. So, unfortunately, if I have my drone preset here, a lot of times people are just going to shoot it. And if I put a claymore down in this window, a lot of times people are going to jump out and they're just going to shoot it. And it's not going to have, like, any major effect, okay? Now, for you guys, though, if you're not a streamer, you could probably do that drone preset, and you could probably do those claymores and potentially get yourself like some extremely easy kills. Where you can see here, this guy jumps out. I'm going to go ahead and line him up to 1 HP. He's going to unfortunately get away here. I think he actually jumps out again here, yeah. And then me and my team are just going to firing range him right there. And right there, the reason why I shot his body is because, like I said, that guy's probably stream sniping because he jumps out with the expectation that there is a claymore there. And I believe if I get on my drone here later on in this round, and my drone is shot at as well. I could be wrong about this, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and be top yellow. The important thing with this B idea is that we're basically making it so the enemy team cannot play yellow, and if they do want to play the yellow, they're going to have to flood down the staircase here. Now, luckily for me, that nobody is on yellow in this current moment, so they're just going to flood back into sight here, and then all I really need to do in this position now is I just need to control top yellow as well as put pressure on laundry. So I rotate into dorms from top yellow because it's now like an anchor point for us. This is like a power position. We need to own this power position and put pressure on the enemy team. So right here, we're going to kill one guy for laundry. My teammate's going to flood through the yellow hallway in this position, which actually opens up a play for us to pincer for laundry in games. Luckily, as he goes for that pincer play, both of the last two players pretty much like look at him, so I'm able to just flood into laundry to pick off one guy inside of laundry, and then obviously the last guy, the Doc that was playing inside of games, kills my teammate for yellow hallway for piano, and I'm able to just swing him aggressively to get another free kill to secure the round. Now next up, we're going to be over on Oregon here. We're going to be attacking the basement bomb site. Now this bomb site is a little bit complicated to push if the enemy team doesn't swing you like this Vigil does. Because long story short, a lot of people for Big Tower, they do this play where they play SMG-11 or SMG-12 or Legion Shotgun or some kind of variation of that, and they just play aggressively for backstairs here. Now, luckily for this round in particular, I was able to injure the Vigil early round because he got way too aggressive, and so I was able to just get like a very easy kill onto him right there. And what ended up happening is since I injured him, somebody else walked up the backstairs to look for refrag, which gave me a free kill on him as well. And so right here, my Deimos is going to go ahead and finish off the Vigil. And then in this type of position, like I said, guys, always have some kind of play in mind. I'm going to actually go ahead and just grim up the pillar and icon here. We're going to go ahead and just drop right away. This is to open up a play where I can just flood into sight. And unfortunately right here, I am pushing a little bit too fast paced in my opinion, because what ends up happening is my Deimos is going to end up dying. By the way, this round, I wasn't getting callouts from my teammates, so I had to wait for like a lot longer than I should have to get callouts here. Long story short, my Deimos actually died to bunker from Mira, and the Mira rotates through pillar. I'm going to get audio, luckily, for Mira here and get a free kill into her. And then the last guy in this position is actually going to be Freezer. I'm going to use some bees here to basically make it impossible for him to ego challenge me. However, he ego challenges me before I get those bees out. So what ends up happening is I'm going to have to panic whip out my bailiff. Luckily the bailiff is really strong as like a pocket shotgun, so we end up just hitting him once and getting a free kill on him to secure the round. Now don't get me wrong, guys, the Grim push for Oregon is really strong. The one thing that I want you guys to understand is that the main problem with it is that you have to spend time going through backstairs and having to go through those guys that like to ego challenge with like Legion Shotgun, SMG-12, whatever. Alibi was what was used during that round. So that was like the main like big problem that I had to worry about. The thing that I've done recently during Siege X that I've been doing to clear out of people out of that area of the map is that I've actually been having people push through small tower with a preset drone so we can pincer for backstairs and basically prevent people from playing like the double door. And if nobody's playing the double door, what that means is that we could swing that double door through kitchen through small tower side to basically cut off the ego challenges for backstairs for Legion Shotgun or SMG-12 or whatever. That would be the basic idea. We could use Grims to basically push them back to the backstairs, so it'd be a more even gunfight for whoever is playing for the swing for double door, if that makes sense. Now this round, what is going on here is that my main goal is to take over garage. Now luckily this round, the enemy team wasn't playing rafters, they were just playing bottom garage, so I was able to pick off somebody really quickly for bottom garage here. And then all I really need to do in this type of position is to actually just grim out the site doorways. Now right here, something actually really interesting happened. Vigil's ability can actually avoid the bees altogether, so he tried to use his bees there to basically get a free kill on me, not suspecting that he's there, but luckily for me, he actually ends up whiffing, so I'm able to get a free kill onto him. And then right here, all I really need to do now is look for a plant. However, a lot of my teammates in this position are calling out to me that the enemy team is flanking me for garage, so what I'm going to do is instead of planting, is I'm just going to go ahead and push deeper into sight to kill this bandit. The reason why I pushed aggressively for that bandit is because he was, first of all, he was getting hit by my bees, but the other reason why is because when bees are down, they make a lot of audio, so it actually opens up plays where you could like drop patches, where you can crouch walk up onto somebody, that type of thing, and I'm able to get myself a free kill. And then the last guy is in this position, like I said, there's one guy flanking for garage, the other guy is playing inside of sight, my teammate's gonna wallbang the scared around.